Hello everyone. If you have watched my previous video on generative grammar, you will remember that Chomsky proposed a completely new way of looking at language. However, two parts of his theory, that is phrase structure grammar and transformational grammar, often confuse students. That's why we will understand this phrase structure grammar in a simple way, its limitations, and then we will see how Chomsky developed transformational generative grammar to overcome these limitations. Now let us start with phrase structure grammar. In simple words, phrase structure grammar explains how a sentence is built, how it divides a sentence into phrases while using the phrase structure rewrite rules. Phrase structure or rewrite rules. For example, the man hit the ball. This sentence is divided into noun phrase and verb phrase, while noun phrase is divided into article and noun, and verb phrase is divided into verb and noun phrase. The noun phrase again is divided into article and noun, that is the second noun. Now we can say that the noun phrase here is article and noun, that is the is the article and noun is man. Then the verb is hit, and in the second noun phrase article is the and the noun too, there is a noun another noun is ball. So the sentence which we get is the, which is article, man, which is noun, hit, which is verb, again the, which is article, and again ball, which is noun. Now we derived at the structure of a sentence applying the phrase structure rules. So this is the phrase structure grammar. Now there are limitations of phrase structure grammar. That is, it cannot explain active and passive relationship. For example, John saw Jill. Jill was seen by John. This passive sentence is not explained by phrase structure grammar. As well as it cannot explain questions, it cannot explain verb changes. Like for example, if you take a verb that is take, then it will not explain the will take, has taken, all these kinds of verb changes is not explained by phrase structure grammar. And it also cannot explain the embedded sentences or complex sentences. So phrase structure grammar only explains sentence structure, not sentence transformation. So to incorporate, like to explain the transformation in a sentence, Chomsky proposed transformational generative grammar. Now the functions of transformational grammar is that, number one, that is simple transformation, and the second one is generalized transformation. We will talk about simple transformation, that or singular transformation, that is it is a transformation which is passive, auxiliary and negative transformation. This is called simple transformations. Like for example, John opened the door, and the passive one is the door was opened by John. Now the passive, auxiliary and negative transformations are singular or simple transformations. And the generalized transformations are when you combine two simple sentences, we get a complex sentence. That is generalized transformation. For example, John said, I will leave. We can combine it like John said that he would leave. So this is generalized transformation. You can think of many other examples as well. Now he talked about principles of transformational generative grammar. The first principle is extrinsic and intrinsic ordering. What is extrinsic ordering? That is, the grammar itself tells which transformation must come first. For example, in questions like does he go, which is correct, that do or does must come before the subject. So this is the extrinsic ordering, while he does go is incorrect. So the rule is the ordering, or the order is that the do or does must come before the subject. This is extrinsic ordering. While intrinsic ordering is that the order is determined by the nature or structure of rules. For example, affirmative comes before negative in negative sentences. This is intrinsic ordering. It is a nature or the structure of the rule. It is determined by, the order is determined by the nature of the rule or structure of the rule. That is, for example, he did not go. It is correct. He not did go. This is incorrect. So affirmative comes before negative. Not go. Affirmative, what is affirmative here? Did. So did should come before not. So that is the intrinsic ordering. The second principle is that strict ordering of rules, which here through reflexivization we will learn about it. Some rules must always occur before others. If the order is changed, the sentence becomes ungrammatical. For example, in the sentence which gives the reflexivization, for example, you saw you. The NP, for NP we have the similar NPs. You saw you, you and you. So here we can apply reflexivization, that is you saw yourself. And then delete you. First we will apply reflexivization, then you is automatically deleted. This is the correct order. The wrong order is that you saw you. First we will delete you, that is you saw. Then we cannot reflexivize after deletion because it's a wrong order. So the particular strict order should be followed. That is strict ordering of rules. Now this third one is obligatory and optional transformations. Like obligatory transformations are mandatory. They must be applied. Like example, auxiliary transformation and do transformation. They are there in the sentence, in a simple sentence. For example, when you take a simple basic sentence, she writes a letter. This writes is an auxiliary. She write a letter. We'll not write like that. We will say she writes a letter. This is obvious. This is auxiliary transformation, which are obligatory, which are there, which must be applied, which the sentence should have. And the other type of transformation is optional transformation, that is which may or may not be applied. It's our choice. For example, passive sentence, negative sentence, imperative sentence, questions, which includes WH rules and yes or no questions. All these are optional transformation. Now when these obligatory transformations are applied, sentences produced by applying obligatory transformations are called kernel sentences, and sentences obtained by applying optional transformations are called derived sentences. For example, basic kernel sentence, she is coming, forms by applying obligatory rules. The second one is derived, that is the form has been changed. Is she coming? This is in the form of question, isn't it? Formed by applying optional rules. So this is the explanation of phrase structure grammar and transformational generative grammar. So hope you understood the explanation, and please, if you like this video, share it, like it and subscribe to the channel for more IGNOU related linguistic and literature topics. Thank you.